Hey, welcome to the second lesson of the Easy Outsource to the Philippines course, a practical course that teaches you everything you need to know about hiring, training, and delegating tasks to virtual assistants from the Philippines. In this lesson, we're going to be speaking about why most people fail at outsourcing and how to avoid it. So essentially, the mindset that it takes to succeed with hiring and outsourcing so you can grow with your business and you can reach your goals with outsourcing. Also, I want to tell you that this is all part of a playlist that we have here on YouTube. Down in the description, you're going to have the link to this playlist to watch all the videos, as well as a special offer to our dear viewers. And of course, in the end of each lesson, we are going to also have an end screen to the next lesson that leads you to the next lesson. My name is Vova Evan, seller on Amazon since late 2016. It's just great to meet you today. And I'm accompanied today by Barak, Almog, my friend, mentor. He's the owner of SellerFrame, an agency that helps businesses systemize their processes and outsource and get people to help them with their businesses. So that's what they do. And Barak has been mentoring me for, I believe, over a year now with this. And I've successfully hired people myself. So I'm excited to be accompanied by him for this course, man. What's up? Welcome to the second lesson, man.
Thank you, Vova. This is a very happy day for me.
It is, man.
Yeah, this is the second lesson. You mentioned it correctly. We're going to talk about why most people fail at outsourcing. This is something that, and how you guys will avoid it. And this is something I see over and over and over again. And I'm going to explain today why that happens and why it takes some effort to outsource properly and why it's worth it, why it's worth the effort. So I'm going to kind of install the mindset for success. It's not going to be a long lesson. It's super important. It's going to be interesting.
It is.
All right. So I hope you already watched the first lesson of the series. Mm-hmm. And if you didn't, you got to stop, go back and watch lesson number one. Lesson number one, we talked about the 3 elements of successful outsourcing. Mm-hmm. It's about hiring the right people. It's about setting up the right software, to make your communication process efficient. Mm-hmm. And to map your process to make sure that VA execute the tasks properly 100% of the time. This is the end scenario, which kind of outlines the elements in action. I'm going to really remind you briefly what we see here. We see a VA that over the span of a week, Monday to Friday, starts his shift, goes to check his tasks on the task management system, and he goes one by one, he executes them. To find out or to refresh his memory how to do this task, he's going to go to the company wiki, the information headquarters, where he's going to go to the relevant SOP, standard operating procedure. Here we got the cloud storage, and if he needs some file or something that's waiting for him in the cloud storage. So the seller, that's yourself, the entrepreneur, is not involved in that, and the tasks are executed properly. And the seller can, go about his day, do everything, anything that they got on their mind or on their agenda, and only check the daily report. And that's what we are working for. I know that in the chart, it kind of seems simple enough. And yet I know that so many business owners, they fail and they give up on the whole concept. They don't want to outsource, or they don't want to outsource to the Philippines. And I want to tell you that if that's one of you, if you tried hiring and you failed, it's not your fault. I know that it's not your fault because, I also started without knowing virtually anything, and I failed also. I'm going to explain why. The first reason is that we have different mindsets. That's we is us and our Filipino VAs. We're the business owners. We're emotionally attached to our business on a different level. We're more invested. Also, we are entrepreneurs. Okay? So we tend to think that everyone else think like us. But the fact is that many of our VAs are not necessarily entrepreneurs. So they kind of, they hit the clock at the end of the shift and they go home because they work from home, but they forget from your business, right? Until tomorrow. It's not the case with us. Another thing, they cannot read our minds, all right? And I know that many entrepreneurs don't break down a task. Sometimes they just provide examples for their VA. Like, they go live on a call and they show him how they do the task, like how they answer customers or how they do PPC on Amazon. And then they expect the VA to construct the model from those examples. That's really, really bad. They will never construct the same model like us. About hiring process, why some VAs, and if you hired, you know what I'm talking about. Some VAs might look good on paper and will not deliver on their promise later. I lived in Manila for a year and a half, and I love Filipinos. I see them as brothers and sisters. Now, they got many positive traits. As a culture, they have a very sensitive, emotional radar, and so they sell themselves very well. They kind of know what you want to hear. VA position is more demanding than it might seem. So, someone might think that they are cut out to be a VA, but they're not. The relative high pay is a very strong incentive, and it will attract many unfit candidates to apply. So all these together kind of boil up to the fact that you tried it and there are many factors working against you. Most typical failure reasons, and we got them here. So, some entrepreneurs don't have task management, they don't have a company wiki, and they just rely entirely on the VA's memory, delegating tasks from memory that doesn't work. They got no hiring process, and this actually needs to be on the left side, but that's okay. They hired the wrong person, all right? Or no documentation. You can't explain your tasks, or you hire for a task that you don't know well. And all these are reasons for failure. We're going to tackle them one by one.
Barak, okay, I want to stop you for a second, man. I want to say that also one of the things that we've spoken about before, before even making these mistakes, maybe with hiring the wrong person, is first getting the mindset to hire. Sometimes that's myself as an example. And I mentioned this in the first lesson. I was working on my business with my partner for literally 3 years, two of us, right? And we did quite well for ourselves, but man, more and more tasks, more and more products to launch. And I couldn't break this kind of glass ceiling in my mind for hiring. Each time I made up some excuse, I guess, or something, but it's not good. Really, it's good to hire, in my opinion. Of course, if you can automate a process with software and stuff like that, it's also awesome. But I haven't seen, honestly, pretty big and successful businesses that operate only one solo person. It's possible. I'm not saying no, but it helps when you get assistance. So get assistance. Get help. That's also something to understand, in my opinion. Also, it's important.
Well, this chart might seem simple enough when you kind of have to build it up from your own understanding. Takes time, and that's might seem a bit overwhelming. It's not really. We're going to see how simple it is in this series. We're going to tackle first. We're going to learn how to hire the right people. We're going to learn what software you need to install and how, and we're going to learn how to map and delegate your processes. I want to bust some objections that I know many sellers have or many entrepreneurs have. Let's talk about them briefly. So the first thing that I hear is, I'll do it all by myself. I do it all by myself, so I don't need employees. But basically what I'm hearing is that your time is worth $5 an hour, which is what, on average, you can find really good VAs for $5 an hour. Yeah. You do it all by yourself, and that's what your time is worth. Hiring and delegating is hard. It's not. We're going to see how easy it is. It's not hard at all. Yeah. It's really easy. It takes a little bit of practice. I'm worried about sharing accesses with someone I never met. Don't be. I've been working with Filipinos for 4 years. The vast majority of them are very honest people. They just want to, grow with you. And don't delegate, your PayPal access. Just start gradually, build trust. I mean, if you don't share accesses, you won't be able to grow. What if my VAs will want to become a partner or steal my customers or steal never heard of it, not even once. Many of them live paycheck to paycheck. Some of them got some aspirations of becoming an entrepreneur, but they're not going to steal your business. It's on a whole different level. And no reason to hire before the business is highly profitable. It's partially true. You want to be profitable, okay? You want to know what you're hiring for.
Yeah.
Don't hire to hire. But if you are profitable, you want to be highly profitable, outsourcing would definitely get you there much faster. All right. Yeah, Vova, which tripled his productiveness. I love it. I'm going to repeat it every time. Still, that sounds like a lot of work. Is it worth the bother? I'm going to explain to you why it is. Hopefully you'll be convinced. So first of all, Vova mentioned that there is no stronger leverage in this business than a team of A players. Seriously, you can do magic with the right VA in the right spot. You can't grow a significant business working alone. You must learn to outsource. It's kind of the same thing like number one. VAs and systems allow you to remove yourself from the business. So it means that the earning potential will no longer depend on you. You're going to reduce the dependency. When you do everything in your business, if you can't work, there is no money coming in. For example, I'm sick. And even if my VA is not the CEO of the company, I can at least kind of, empower him temporarily to take over, right? You need someone to take over. Outsourcing is an excellent leadership school. And I got to tell you, from dealing with VAs, I learned to deal with colleagues, with customers. It really teaches you a lot, okay, and translate to other areas of your business and life. And it's extremely satisfying. You're going to love it, especially with Filipinos. So I hope you're sold. And on the numbers, if you're a number person, then let me tell you what only 2 hours a day will cost you and give back. So 2 hours a day, that's 10 hours per week, which is roughly 45 hours per month. 2 hours a day of your VA, okay? You hire someone for 2 hours a day. Now, if that person earns $5 an hour, and some of them earn less, then that's $225 per month which you're going to invest, which will give you back 540 hours per year, which is roughly 13 and a half more work weeks, which is like another quarter every year. So, I mean, I'm going to leave you. Yeah, that's a lot, right? I'm going to leave you to think what you can do with another quarter each year. I'm sold. Let's hire a VA, Barak. What's next? I hope you're sold. This is something you need. This is actually super, super, super important slide. So you kind of got to be with me. One of the misconceptions that people try to do when they try to hire, they are looking for someone on the line of an agency while expecting to pay for a follower. There are 3 types of outsourcing. A follower is someone that will do simple tasks in your business. They're usually on the low end rate and they work with your systems. So that could be customer service, some bookkeeping, lead generation, online research, stuff like that. They earn maybe $5 an hour, more or less. They work with your process. You got to know how to train and delegate to them. Then we got the experts. They perform more complex tasks. They are paid a little bit more. They're more of problem solvers and they can help you create systems. So for example, video editing, they come with their own systems and processes and you kind of just direct them to the result that you want. Mm-hmm. So they're kind of in between. And then there's the agency, which takes over a whole function of your business. So if you want someone to manage your PPC or to do SEO for you, and you just tell them, hey, manage my PPC, get me results. I don't care how. That's not a VA. That's not a follower or an expert. It's going to be an agency. In this series, we're going to focus on the follower. And that's what I suggest, especially if you just started, that you would choose because it's the least expensive one. It's the easiest to hire. It's the easiest to teach and replace if, they mess up. And this is a quick victory for you. It's very important if it's your first time. Follower is the best value for money for like 90% of anyone's watching this video. Almost finished with this slideshow, with this lecture. You got to know how to prepare. So you want to hire a follower for whatever it is that you want to do in your business. First of all, you got to prepare a list of 3 to 5 tasks that you want to delegate. And it's just something to start with. Later on, you can expand that list. That's okay. You just need to something for the first couple of weeks. Then you got to make sure that you know these tasks very well. And by the way, we're going to deal with almost the last lecture, the fifth lecture, we're going to deal with how to delegate those tasks. But for now, just get the list. Make sure that you can explain those tasks clearly every step of the way. You got to make sure that your level of English is high enough and the task can be handled in English mostly. That's if you want to hire someone from the Philippines. So if it's your first time, I would say don't just go into the deep immediately. Don't try to delegate something very complex. If it fails, and it might fail, and it's okay, it might demotivate you. Find something simple. Mm-hmm. Search for your quick victory. Yeah, and these are some expectations. I think I feel like we should kind of manage them in advance. So first off, outsourcing is a process. You should know it's going to require you mindset shift, and it's going to take some time. You should expect problems, issues, and setbacks, and because there are many moving parts, and that's okay. It's going to require some persistence. You should take extreme ownership. It's your business and you got to fight for it. No one else will. Finally, all the systems that I show you here are kind of a starting point. So you should feel free to tweak them and change them to what makes sense and works.
Yeah, I love the transparency here, man. I think it's true. It's not necessarily it's going to work perfectly, but stick to it. It will work. It will help you. I'm a living example of that. Barak himself is also at some point you never had a VA, right? And you did it. It really helps. You get to meet awesome people. Yes, you sometimes got to fix mistakes. It's people to people work, but when you nail the process, it's awesome. You know what I mean? Like,
it's always, whatever it is that they always resolve. I mean, when I try to help, when I get a new client or just try to help other fellow entrepreneur, I always prepare them. Hey, there are going to be some difficulties in the beginning. There are ups, and that's okay, because for me, it's feedback.
Yeah.
Once you tell me what your problem is, then I get the feel of what's going on, and then we can fix it. And you can always fix it.
Right.
So just, be prepared for it. Like I said, it's an eye-opening process and will make you better business people. Totally worth it. Action items. We kind of talked about it. Prepare your list of 3 to 5 tasks that you want to delegate. Make sure that you know them very well and that you can explain those tasks clearly. We're going to use them later on. That's for this video. Next lesson that's really coming up right away, how to easily hire your perfect virtual assistant. We're going to dive into my hiring process. So I hope you're excited and stick around.
Yeah, it's here on the screen now. You can click on the end screen here on YouTube. Again, they're going to learn how to easily hire the perfect virtual assistant. And we have Barak's contacts here down in the description. Of course, our special gift for our viewers down in the description. And yeah, you're welcome to click on this end screen now and go to the next lesson. We're going to see you there and it's going to be awesome. See you there.